Good day everyone, I am Roland E. Insag. Our topic for today is all about operation scheduling and sequencing. Let me introduce to you the learning objectives are 1. Explain the concept of scheduling and sequencing. 2. Describe staff scheduling and appointment system decision. 3. Explain sequencing performance criteria and rules. 4. Describe how to solve single and two-resource sequencing problems. 5. Explain the need for monitoring schedules using Gantt chart. 6. Describe how to use the Clark-Wright method for vehicles routing and scheduling. Understanding scheduling and sequencing. Scheduling refers to the assessment of completion times to particular jobs, peoples, or equipment. For example, fast food restaurants, hospitals, and call centers need to schedule employees for work shifts. Doctors, dentists, and stockbrokers need to schedule patients and customers. Airlines must schedule crews and flight attendants. Sports organization must schedule teams and officials. Court system must schedule hearing and trials. Factory managers need to schedule jobs on machines and preventive maintenance work. And salespersons need to schedule customers' deliveries and visits to potential customers. Sequencing refers to determining the order in which jobs or tasks are processed. For example, triage nurses must decide on the order in which emergency patients are treated. Housekeepers in hotels must sequence the order of rooms to clean. Operations managers who run an automobile assembly line must determine the sequence by which different models are produced, and airport managers must sequence outgoing flights on runways. Scheduling application and approaches. Scheduling applies to all aspects of the value chain, planning and releasing orders in a factory, determining work shifts for employees, and making deliveries to customers. Staff scheduling. Staff scheduling problems are prevalent in service organizations because of high variability in customer demand. For example, scheduling call center representatives, hotel housekeeper, toll booth operators, nurses, airline reservation clerks, police officers, fast food restaurant employees, and many others. Staff scheduling attempts to match available personnel with the needs of the organization by 1. Accurately forecasting demand and translating into the quality and timing of work to be done. 2. Determining the staffing required to perform the work by time period. 3. Determining the personnel available and the full and part-time mix. And 4. Matching capacity to demand requirements and developing a work schedule that maximizes service and minimize costs. Appointment systems. Appointments can be viewed as a reservation of service time and capacity. Appointment systems are used in many businesses such as consulting, tax preparation, music instructions, and medical, dental, and veterinarian practices. 4 decisions to make regarding designing an appointment system are the following. 1. Determine the appointment time interval such as 1 hour or 15 minutes. 2. Determine the length of each workday and the time of duty. 3. Decide how to handle overbooking for each day of the week. 4. Develop customer appointment rules that maximize customer satisfaction. Sequencing. Sequencing is necessary when several activities, manufacturing goods, servicing customers, delivering package, etc., use a common resource. The resource might be a machine, a customer service representative, or a delivery truck. For example, if a student plans to begin homework at 7 p.m. and estimates that it will take 60 minutes to complete an OM assessment, 45 minutes to read a psychology chapter, and 40 minutes to do statistic homework. Sequencing performance criteria. And selecting a specific scheduling or sequencing roles, a manager must first consider the criteria on which to evaluate schedules. These criteria are often classified into the three categories. First, process-focused performance criteria. Second, customer-focused due date criteria. And 3, cost-based criteria. Flow time is the amount of time jobs spent in the shop or factory. Max fan is the time needed to process a given set of jobs. Lateness is the difference between the completion and the due date, either positive or negative. Tardiness is the amount of time by which the completion time exceeds the due date. Sequencing rules. Two of the most popular sequencing rules for prioritizing jobs are shortest processing time (SPT) and earliest due date (EDD). For example, the SPT and EDD rules generally work well in the short term, but in most situations, new orders and jobs arrive intermittently and the schedule must accommodate them. There are some examples of these priority rules are: first come first serve; second, fewest number of operation remaining; third, less work remaining, sum of all processing times for operations not yet performed; and fourth, less amount of work at the next process queue, amount of work awaiting the next process, and a job sequence. Application of sequencing rules. Sequencing in a job shop in which several different goods or services are processed, each of which may have a unique routing among process stage, is generally very complex, but some special cases lend themselves to simple solution. Single resource sequencing problem. The simplest sequencing problem is that of processing a set of jobs on a single processor. This situation occurs in many firms. For example, in a cereal manufacturing process, a bottleneck workstation controls the output of the entire process. Two-resource sequencing problem. In this section, we consider a flow shop with only two resources or workstation. Schedule monitoring and control. In schedule environments that change rapidly, organizations must have the capability to closely monitor and adjust schedules as necessary. For example, in the airline industry, a weather delay or flight cancellations at one airport can wreak havoc on the entire system. Schedulers need to be able to quickly change the schedule and reroute planes and flight crews to minimize the impact on passengers and also to minimize their costs. Vehicle routing and scheduling. A common scheduling problem and logistics involves determining routes from a central depot or warehouse many customers. For example, the delivering cases of soft drinks, convenience stores, or delivering package via apps or FedEx home delivery. Generally, time such as limited working hours or vehicle capacity restriction preclude the use of using only one route from the depot to all customers. That's all for today and thank you for watching.